Now, one of the factors I think that is also contributing to the breakdown of the intestinal barrier is the genetically modified foods, and I know Louis talks about this a lot. The first crop that was submitted to the FDA for voluntary consultation was the flavor saver tomato. And 7 of the 20 female rats in that study developed stomach lesions. And that was about the last time that any genetically modified food was submitted to the FDA for voluntary consultation. Mice fed genetically modified potatoes engineered to produce Bt toxins showed proliferative growth in both the stomach and the intestines, which indicates that there's something abnormal going on in the digestive tract. And then in another study by Pustai, rats fed potatoes genetically engineered to produce a different insecticide also developed proliferative cell growth in the stomach and the intestines. There's been a number of different studies showing that genetically modified foods, particularly when they're engineered to contain pesticides, have an effect on the digestive tract. That's one of the slides there. That's Pustai's work. He was working in England when he published his results. Within 3 days he was fired, and his whole research team, which had been funded to the tune of quite a bit of money, was disbanded. This is a recent study that was done where pigs that were fed genetically modified food had lesions and inflammation of the stomach. They were fed genetically modified soy and corn. One of the interesting parts of this study was that the pigs began to behave as if they were autistic, which leads a suggestion maybe there's some correlation between autism and genetically modified foods. The study was done in Australia. We had a discussion of agriculture at our clinical nutrition meeting, and I wanted to share this with you because I thought this was pretty interesting. In Germany, they have had an epidemic of botulism. These are cattle that have died from botulism infection. This is becoming quite a problem in farm animals. In Germany, they had quite a number of episodes of botulism poisoning of animals. This Monica Kruger has a research team, which is not funded. They've done the research with their own money, because no one will fund them. But what they found was that Roundup was killing off the beneficial acidophilus in the gut. And they found that acidophilus is highly susceptible to being killed by Roundup or glyphosate. And the botulism organism is very resistant. So what was happening was a drop in the beneficial organisms in the gut and a rise of different toxic microbes, particularly botulism in this case. Now, in their research work, they found botulism in the cattle, in the farmers, and in their families, and in the dust of the farms in Germany. And the botulism was also found in animal feeds. All the farmers had glyphosate residue in their urine, and then Kruger decided to test herself and her staff. She found that she and 2/3 of her staff that was doing the research also were positive for Roundup in the urine. Germany doesn't use a lot of Roundup over there, but it was coming in from imported animal feeds. Also, there's been an epidemic of botulism in poultry, probably associated with the same kind of thing. One of the things they're doing with wheat that may be increasing the likelihood of problems with wheat intolerance is they are spraying the wheat fields with Roundup to cause a uniform die-off of the crop so they can harvest the whole crop at one time. And so that's one of the ways that the food is being contaminated. Monsanto is advertising where the thing is called crop desiccation in grain, maize, and sunflower, talking about how you can use Roundup to more uniformly harvest your crops. Also, this is kind of interesting. In Eugene, Oregon, they found genetically engineered glyphosate-resistant wheat in fields in Oregon, even though it's not supposed to be sold. So you wonder how much experimentation is going on that really shouldn't be going on.